How's it going, everyone? And this video might come a little bit as a shocker, but today I have decided to make, as you can easily tell, I am wanting to make a Five Nights at Freddy's tier list. In which I know that the tier listing Arrow was earlier this year, but the thing is that I didn't really mind it until more recently, in which I've also kind of wanted to, you know, show you guys my opinion on each of the FNaF animatronics, minus the Twisted, because apparently they didn't show up, but Chipper did. And the thing is, I was thinking that, after you guys watch my video, you guys can come and make your own tier list, and then you guys can show it off, so that I can see your guys' favorite animatronics, and also hear about your guys' opinions on the list. Now, kind of like whenever YouTubers make top 10 lists, there's always a little bit of a reminder before they start. This list is completely opinion based. This is all based on my own opinion, based on what I like about their design and characteristics. So if your favorite animatronic was not in the S tier, then just say, you don't have to, then please don't be upset. But you can always just make your own tier list and just share who your favorite characters are. But so what it is, I'm going to be starting. So the thing is that how this tier list was arranged was that it was arranged from, in which I just randomly clicked on one of them and then clicked on create my tier list. And how I'm going to be going on arranging these characters are from least favorite to favorite. So this might sometimes take a while, in which I'm going to explain the reasons for each of them. So let's start off with C tier. Starting off with our C tier has to go to Endo 01. For some reason, first of all, I'm still wondering, why this character was first of all considered in for Ultimate Custom Night, in which I kind of understand that the character just seems kind of off for it. But first of all, this isn't even about Ultimate Custom Night, but about the character itself. The character, I know it's its FNaF World form, and I loved FNaF World, but he just looks a little, he does look cheesy, in which I don't truly hate any of these characters. Well, maybe I might have some sort of grudge towards certain few here and there. But he kind of just doesn't exactly stand out to me the most, out of all these characters on this tier list. Next spot would have to go to, let's see. Now the thing is, I'm probably going to rearrange them. Possibly rearrange them every now and again. Wait a minute. This should be D. And this should be C. I don't even know how this was mixed up. So yeah, this is on D tier. So I'm thinking that maybe next up should be Chipper. I understand why the game never really had that much love, in which I don't really know that much about Chipper. So I'm gonna have to just put him low, like lower. I'm not saying I hate, like I said, I don't hate any of these characters. I just like some more than the rest. In which Chipper, I understand that this was the entire reason how Scott was inspired to create FNaF in the first place, which is really amazing because at this entire game and how the fans thought that the characters, like certain characters, looked more like horrifying animatronics, kind of inspired Scott to create this game as a last resort, in which now we're here today. In which I'm really happy. But he just doesn't exactly, like I said, kind of like with the endo and such, he just doesn't stand out to me. And next, I'm pretty sure that some of you guys have been really wanting me to do this. Let's just get it over with. Just Afton. The Jimmy Neutron skull looking derpy. I don't know what in the world happened with you, Springtrap. I don't know what the fire did to you. Randomness. Just why? I mean, like, what in the world happened to you? Did all your greed go straight to your skull? Whatever happened to your muzzle, your eyes, your two weird buck teeth, your skull in general? What in the world happened? I don't even think that that's even close to resembling a skull. I mean, like, on the inside, what are those lips? They make no sense at all. I just don't understand anything. In which, of the normal animatronics, he's gotta be my least favorite. I mean, like, sure, he's got some sort of, like, qualities that make him unique. Now, I understand how all the FNaF 6 returning characters are supposed to, like, look different, but he, out of all of them, looks the least resemblance to his normal counterpart. Next up, I'm gonna have to say for the D tier is Dee Dee. Actually, maybe I'll wait. I would probably be putting Minarina, Bidybab, and Electrobab, all from Sister Location, in this tier. Now, I'm putting these all together mainly because their designs, I mean, like, sure, they're interesting. Like, the Minarina is like a tiny little mannequin with a mask on it, and the Bidybabs are kind of like baby's little partners, and Electrobab's kind of like a little thing specifically for the custom knight, who actually isn't even canon, but is, I guess. But these characters, they just don't really stand out to me. They're just there and barely even are even used for any sort of mechanics. Like, they just don't really seem that really interesting. Mini arenas just seem extremely horrifying, especially when they get their glowing eyes. And Bidybabs were only really used for the one section in Night 2 and the custom night, but that was really about it. So it really wasn't, they really didn't exactly have that much originality. Well, I mean, like, they are original characters, but still. I think that's about it for D tier for now. So C tier. Let's see. Now this one is probably going to be where a lot more characters are going to go. So first of all, I'm considering D tier as the um unknown slash slash Y tier. Well, it's pretty much like the I guess I could just kind of like rename it as, and I'll just keep it as D. So D will kind of just be considered as like the worst, or just not really a big fan. C tier will be kind of like the um they barely made they have some sort of thing that makes me more interested in them, but not exactly the most. And I'm going to start off with Happy Frog. Happy Frog, um, let me see. Happy Frog's design. I just don't know what it is, but she just looks a little bit too creepy with her mouth always being open. She randomly has two buck teeth. And I mean, like, her lines are interesting in Ultimate Custom Night, but she just somehow doesn't. I keep on. She's like the most forgettable, in my opinion, of the mediocre melodies. She's the most mediocre of the mediocre melodies, in my opinion. Because the rest of them are more unique. I mean, like, Ned Bear is just all stranger danger. Pig Patch, you can't forget about him because of his sweet banjo skills, and Orville Elephant is kind of like just the one that stands out the most, like in design wise. And then you just got Mr. Hippo. It reminds me of a time. Okay. Who's next? But yeah, she just doesn't exactly stand out the most, in my opinion. Next up is where I think Dee Dee should probably go. She looks, I mean, like, it was really neat how they kind of like brought her back from FNaF World, in which I personally would have preferred. I prefer her over the Endo one from FNaF World. And I also like how such a like an innocent looking character can literally bring madness. The most madness of all time is brought by this little um altered version of Balloon Boy. But the thing is that she's not exactly my favorite. And same thing kind of like goes with JJ, because JJ really looks a lot more like a recolored Balloon Boy, in which I really like the Easter egg, but it's very small. Nothing really that we know about JJ. But I personally like Balloon Boy a lot more than the others. Okay, let me see. What's next? Next, I believe I should probably put up. I feel like it would be like one of the Phantoms, or someone from um Pizzeria Simulator, or even Old Man Consequences. Just can't decide. Um, I think that probably my least favorite of the Phantoms actually would have to be. It's either. It has to either be Chica, the puppet. It's like between Chica or the puppet. The mangle looks really interesting, and I love it how it's like a ghostly mess. Phantom Foxy just looks horrifying. BB just looks plain out creepy. In Freddy, I really like his design, how he kind of like took on the withered Freddy, but also the golden Freddy and Shadow Freddy look. And also, who can't just love that little limp he has? He's like, Hey buddy, I'm walking. Just walking down this hallway. So I'm thinking about giving it to the puppet. The Phantom puppet, in my opinion, is probably one of the most unoriginal designs, but it's still much better than these down here. Well, Chipper, of course, is original, and everyone else is like an original design, except for Electrobab. But the puppet seems to be has a little bit more quality to it. I mean, like, sure, there's nothing really special about them, but the puppet just seems a little bit more freaky and such, with just his staring eyes. But the biggest drawback that it has is its design. It literally looks like the normal puppet, but um like with completely black paint, phantom-like eyes, and the phantom greenish stripes on its head. And that's really about it that the puppet has. But the sound and everything, and its little like segment that it has, is what makes it more interesting. Who's next? Because I really find all these interesting. I guess, if anything, I could put possibly for my last of the C tier would possibly be Old Man Consequence. Because the thing is that for C tier, because the C tier is more of the there are things I like, but not always the most liking. In which the thing is that he's kind of close to being a B tier than most others, because I really like it how he appears as an Easter egg in FNaF World and also causes an ending. But then he also appeared in Ultimate Custom Night, which made him which was interesting that we got to see him again, and there was an Easter egg minigame. But there's just barely anything that we know, and all he is just pixels. Because I would love to see what he looks like 3D, like what he truly looks like. Because we've only seen him pixelated. But I don't know. Starting off with the with the B tier, which is the A tier. But I have more, like, I like them more. So, like, for example, let's see. Actually, let's put Phantom Chica up there on C tier as well. I mean, like, she's the only FNAF 1 styled Phantom animatronic, in which I would have thought, I mean, like, sure, it's a watermelon, but it kind of seems off with the consistency with how the Phantoms are actually characters from FNAF 2 with like Shadow and with Phantom Freddy looking like Shadow and Withered Freddy, well, and also Golden Freddy. There's Balloon Boy, the Mangle, Phantom Foxy looks like Withered Foxy, Puppet, of course, but then Chica's just there. In which I barely even see her that much in FNAF 3 anyways, whenever I played through it. And I'm kind of wondering, like, what would have looked better? Would a Phantom Withered Chica look better, or just this? I truly don't even know. So let's see who's okay. So I think the next up would just be the B tier, and this one I think might actually have the most. So characters like Ned Bear, Orville Elephant, Jacko Chica, Phantom Angle, Phantom Foxy. Let's see, who else? I know that there's another one, and also Now that I'm thinking about it, didn't Chica, I mean, like, Nightmare Chica have like a third row of teeth? Or am I just eating things? Who else? Who else? I know. Music Man, Toy Chica. Am I missing anyone? Actually, I think. Hmm. I'll wait for her. Let's see. Yendo. Bonnet. And like I said, this is going to be the most. This is going to be the largest one out of all of them. Let's see. Funtime Chica. Who else? No. Circus Baby. Plush Trap. Balloon Boy. A little bit, I guess. The Mangle. I'm trying to think of different characters. I guess I could also say. I know that there's probably. I'm just trying to think. Um. I'll put Ballora actually in C tier, and I'll explain her first before I start going on about these guys. Ballora, her design, I mean, like, it's interesting, so I can interchange her between B and C tier. But the thing is that her design and just her look, I just don't know. Because, I mean, like, she has a really nice design and everything. She's probably the most humanoid of all animatronics, but certain aspects of her I'm just not exactly a big fan of, which makes me more of wanting to put her in C tier. Which I like how she's blind, like her eyes are always closed and such, but like her head, in which even her endo head is actually really interesting, but then just her body shape, just in my opinion, just doesn't exactly feel right. And also, I've heard stuff about how she can go on like all fours and everything, which turns her into like makes her go like Spider apparently. Well, not in the actual game, but like more like by the fans. But I'm thinking about just keeping her in C tier, I guess. But actually, I'll put Phantom Balloon Boy in B tier. Let's see, who else? I know I can put someone else. Spring Bonnie. I know that. Funtime Foxy. Whoops, wrong one. FNaF 1 Chica. Who else? I know I could put someone. El Chip. Yeah, I know. This is gonna be the big one. I guess also like Candy Cadet. The puppet. Maybe I don't know. Now I know I should probably like maybe Nightmare Chica and Nightmare Foxy, Nightmare Mangle, Nightmare BB, Nightmare on. And I think that'll be about it for this tier. So let's get all these guys explained, but let me organize them first. So that they're kind of like going by series. This might take a little bit. Oh boy. What else? Let's see. You can go there, there. I'm sorry. This is taking a lot longer than I thought. Let's see. Am I? Oh yeah. Let's put you there. You're right there. Oh, there we go. No, I was missing someone. Oh, and you. Oh yeah, Phantom Balloon Boy. And I'll put you right there. I think that's about it. So let's proceed on. So FNaF 1 Chica, the thing is that she just stands out. The thing is that she's of course the classic Chica from FNaF 1. But the thing is that, like, I'm not trying to be offensive or anything about her, but the thing is that she just doesn't stand out the most out of all of them. Not because that she's a girl, it's just maybe design-wise. Maybe it's just because she looks a little bit derpy. And also, in which the one thing that I always love about Chica is just that one joke that the one guy made. I can't remember what YouTuber name he goes by, that made that pizza joke with her that just stuck with her forever. I always love hearing. Then there's Toy Chica. In my opinion, one of my least favorite of the toys. Her design just is kind of just goes back to what I said about Ballora. And then we got, I mean, like, for Toy Chica, she doesn't look that bad, kind of like with Chica, but just, she's not exactly my most favorite. In which the Mangle, I love the Mangle's, like, all, like, twisted design and everything, and how it's, like, broken up and everything. But, again, not exactly my most favorite, but it's kind of just there. Balloon Boy, I personally have a despise for you, and same thing with Phantom BB, but because of all the jokes that's been made and everything, I can't say I truly hate you. Phantom Angle, just the static. The static, I mean, like, is you're one of the more she's one of the more decent Phantoms, in which also is nice to have a better design and a better look, I guess, in Ultimate Custom Night. And same thing goes for, like, Phantom Foxy, because, I mean, like, sure, he wasn't in Ultimate Custom Night, but, his design is actually really, like, horrifying. It gets me every time he jump scares me. Oh wait, I just now realized. Let's see, put you there, and there. So, next up would be Nightmare Chica. What's unique about her design is first of all, the nightmare cupcake that she holds, and secondly, her miscolored eyes that she has, and finally, in which I feel like that a lot of people have missed this, but where is her third row of teeth? I can literally think I can just pull up a teaser image of, like, Nightmare Chica on my phone, and I thought that she had a third set of teeth or something, because I remember there like being a third set. Give me a second. Nightmare Chica. Yeah, in her teaser image, she has a full-on third row of teeth that's inside her endomouth. But that is exactly like completely absent. And fans still put her with a third mouth. But in the official model, oh wait, no, in the official model, she did have a third row. Then where is it in this model? I think that Scott might have accidentally forgot about it when he was making this, but then again, isn't it the same model? Oh wait, never mind. I think that he actually like updates the models, because I mean like some of them look like, or maybe they were just having different textures, but still, like, where is that third set of teeth that Chica has? Where is it? It's like the most horrifying aspect of her, that, because like she now just, if she just had two, there really wouldn't exactly be that much of a difference between her and the other nightmares. Nightmare Foxy. I really like his design. And that really long snout of his. He really is kind of like the definition of, what's the word? Like, he's a thing that he's like always watching you. And I love it whenever he just peeks his head out of the closet, like, roar. And he's like, ruff. Like, oh, you spotted me. And I just love it how you can just go like, boom, close the closet right in his face. Like, his design is probably, of course, one of the more unique. And of course, Foxy's always had a unique design compared to the others. Like, his head shape and everything's always different. Next up is Plush Trap. Plush Trap is a simplified version of Springtrap. I like his little mini game, although his design is a little bit more on the, like, I mean, like, his design's not bad, in which I like it how there's a plushie animatronic for once, but just doesn't exactly stand out to me the most. Jacko Chica, in which, wait, is that the, does she have 3 sets of teeth on each jaw? I don't think that model does as well. Jacko Chica is kind of like the same thing as normal Chica for, well, Nightmare Chica, but she has a little, in which I really like the Jacko design of them. Like where they're all hollowed out. They got this orangey color to them. I love it. I love her pumpkin, how it's, instead of the cupcake, it's a pumpkin this time, which really adds to the more Halloweeny effect. Next is Nightmare Mangle. Nightmare Mangle is a much bigger mess than normal Mangle, and even Phantom Mangle. In which it's kind of, the thing is that it's kind of, I like it how Nightmare Mangle is actually not just a reskinned Foxy, a Nightmare Foxy. It's like a whole new character. To where like, I mean, like, sure, a lot of the aspects are the same, but I mean, like, compare the Nightmare Mangle model right here. Oh wait, I forgot. Nightmare Mangle actually is a whole other model. I forgot about the mangled mess. But then, like, the head shape is completely different. Like, of course, she has the lips. She has a lot more wear and tear on her upper head that I've noticed. And, of course, she has this, like, complex body, in which we also got to see our first, like, true look at what the Nightmare Endo heads actually look like. Because usually we don't really get to see that. Because it usually, like, they're all, like, covered up, but the first time we really got, like, anywhere close to seeing it was with Nightmare, because his head is kind of transparent. But yeah, fairly decent design, I really like it. Static's also really horrifying. Nightmare Balloon Boy. He just went from annoying to creepy to just plain terrifying. With those red eyes, extremely large amount of teeth, and even your own voice line fits you to help count. In any way, I don't want to help him count his teeth. And I don't want to come closer, especially around this guy. He's just horrifying. Same thing with Nightmare. I haven't played Ultimate Custom Night, but I've seen people play it, and I've seen what you have done. You are, you might be just about as annoying as Balloon Boy from FNaF 2. Because I know that you can just go over the screen, it's like, you have to look at me, and look at me. Is it like the Capitan now, or is it like wanting Senpai to notice you? Because it's not working. Not with that spooky grin. He's a spooky. Baby is terrifying. The thing is that her design isn't exactly friendly. I mean, like, come on. She's a clown. In which I know that she's like the main character of Sister Location, but she also just doesn't. I mean, like, I really like her design, in which how she looks like a little girl clown, but I'm not exactly the biggest fan of clowns. Funtime Foxy, are you a he or a she? Not even Scott can even confirm that. Even with the mangle, the gender is yes. What does that even mean? And also, if you haven't really noticed, I am not like yelling because I do not want to interrupt family. And also that it's really late at night. And I really need to speed this thing up. But the thing is that the voice in Ultimate Custom Night is really neat. And, well, first of all the voices are really interesting in Ultimate Custom Night. And for some reason, it just does. For some reason, Funtime Foxy has just became like an unknown mess. Because the design makes it look like to where it's a girl. Sometimes even referred officially as a girl, but then is then referred to as a guy in Ultimate Custom Night, but it's part of Ladies Night. What the heck? Bonnet, in my opinion, is cute. The design, I mean, like, it's really just Bonbon, but pink. In which I love the little giggle, in which that's probably the one thing I like the most about her, is that cute little giggle. That's really about it for her. Yendo. I actually made a theory about him. About in the book series. Because, if you've ever read The Fourth Closet, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. Because how there was the new Funtime Freddy model that was shown and that was mentioned in part of the story, like the grayish one, or like this purplish one. I can't remember what color he is. Like he's gray or purple. I don't know if it's just lighting and such, but he's definitely not the normal Funtime Freddy you usually see in Sister Location. But the thing is that in the book, it was saying when that Funtime Freddy model was being destroyed, it said that it specifically stated that a yellow eye, it was specifically saying a yellow eye that it had. In the moment it said yellow, that instantly made me think of Yendo. Because Yendo is an unknown, uncanon animatronic. Who isn't even, in which, because he's not even part of Ultimate Custom Night, he's not even canon, unlike Nightmare Mangle, Nightmare Balloon Boy, Nightmare On, and even Draco Chica. So they're not truly even, and they're canon now because of this, in which they used to not be canon. But Yendo is not. And also, just to point things out, apparently Bonnet's now canon, I guess. because of Dee Dee's special little thing. But moved on with Yendo, and I'm thinking that maybe Yendo is actually the endoskeleton for that strange Funtime Freddy that we've seen in the books. That's like my own personal theory. And the thing is that if you also notice, Yendo doesn't even have the empty space for the Bon puppet. So I'm thinking that because at the book series, it never even mentioned a Bon puppet or anything, in which we would have at least heard something about it, or even it talking at some point. But no, unless I haven't seen like the full-on design, like in that one poster. Apparently, I haven't really looked over it in the collection. But Yendo is, in my opinion, a really, really interesting character and a mysterious one at that. Like starting off with that little Easter egg that it had. Then we have a little bit coming straight from FNaF World to be a redesigned version, well, a recolored version of Funtime Foxy. However, I kind of like a little bit more, mainly because first of all, in Ultimate Custom Night, in the normal Custom Night, actually wait, is a little bit actually canon now as well? I'm getting lost now. But I like it how you had to type in LOL just to make her go away. I love her merchandise. Like with the mystery mini and the pop figure with the little TV screen in which it says please stand by and everything, and it's amazing. Let's see. Next up is, but yeah. First of all, I really like her design. The colors really pop out a lot more than with Funtime Foxy. Like, the colors, they more like contrast each other with a darker purple. Well, it's more like a vibrant purple with a really bright orange. Let's see. Next up is Ned Bear. Um, I love his voice. I love his whole personality, like his old derpy personality, going all stranger danger, and everything. He just seems like a complete goofball that would want a friend. I love like his like derpy eyes and everything. Like he's not even a Freddy. He's just a dirt bear. But yeah, really like his voice, like his personality, his concept and everything. Next up is Orville, an Orville elephant. He has nice. I like his voice in Ultimate Custom Night. Really unique design. In which he's also like a brand new type of character, which is like an elephant, in which we never seen one. I mean, like, sure, we haven't seen characters like Music Man, El Chip, um Mr. Hippo and Pork Patch and Happy Frog, but he's kind of like the most out there kind of design. Like, it seems like that they try to put more effort into his design than the rest. Because he's also a magician. A magician! I just really want to see some magic. Because I'm wondering, like, do they add, like, special effects to anything? To make him look like they's using magic? Because if so, that must make the kids real happy there. Next is, and then comes Funtime Chica. It's kind of odd to see her come in a game after Sister Location because this is Funtime Chica, so we're kind of one. So things that fans started speculating and were in shock about even seeing it. People were wondering if it was that same costume that you seen in Night 4 of Sister Location with like this familiar mouth hole and everything. Her design is very interesting. Her cupcake, I don't understand why it has all those teeth, like the sharp teeth. But it was also nice to finally see a new Chica, like an actual Funtime Chica, because it would kind of just seemed off to have Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Bon, but no Chica. Because that was the one game where she was actually not even a thing. Like, nowhere. Other than this one, like, quick glimpse that a YouTuber found. Then comes Music Man. I personally love his, whenever Dawko had an interview with his voice actor, and he was just singing the, the, the Dawko show theme song, which I thought it was really cute just seeing him singing. Now his design, it's horrifying. The pitch black eyes with like the really tiny pupils or like the shine, the big teeth, the spider-like body, just really it's horrifying in my opinion. Which is why he's kind of like in the B tier, but he's really unique, but in a horrifying way. And like what is it with that nose of his? How can a spider have teeth this big and a nose that big? Then comes El Chip, who people would think that Chipper, in which kind of like what Scott said in his discussion with Dawko, that Chipper has infiltrated the FNaF franchise this whole time and it's kind of like disguised himself as like El Chip. Because it's literally like Chipper. In which I personally like this design a lot more than Chipper. Like mainly because of like the Mexican kind of feel. Like he's a beaver. Like I love his little instrument, his beaver tail, his sombrero, his ads. In which yeah, he just has a really nice design with the buck teeth and everything. But at least he pulls off the buck teeth much better than Happy Frog down there. Like, what was it that they were thinking? Like, why does she need buck teeth? He is the one who deserves the buck teeth. And just like, look at that grin. He's like, yeah. Bone Guy. Do I really need to explain? We've already seen him. I mean, we all know and love him from all these years now. Like, we've all heard him. We've all heard his calls and everything. No, it's voiced by Scott. But he's always like he's kind of been like a staple to the FNaF franchise, being like the first voice you hear in this entire game, your guide and everything, and also who is murdered. Next is Candy Cadet. I am a candy cadet. Come get your candies here. I have candies all day, every day. Candy, candy, candy. Nice stories, really nice design. Really silly, in my opinion, like from what I've seen on the internet. And overall, a really decent character, in which even his merchandise, like the mystery mini, it has a real nice metallic design to it. Spring Bonnie. Out of the original Spring Locks, I personally like Fred Barrel more than Spring Bonnie, in which I truly don't even know which model is even real. Is this supposed to be what Spring Bonnie would have? I don't even understand how this. Like, I can understand how this Spring Bonnie model turned into this, because it looks a lot more similar. But then how can this turn into that? It makes no sense. But yeah, I love the design. And I know that this is like a fan model, but then there was also that one official um artwork in FNAF 6 of him during the one minigame, the fruit maze. So we kind of like had our first look at what Spring Bonnie is, but then there's like Mal hair, in which I don't even understand anymore. Nothing makes sense anymore in this world. But yeah, I think that's about it for B tier. A tier is where I start really liking characters. Like where I actually like them. like design-wise, characters, voices. In which this is also going to be another one of those bigger groups, but it's not going to be like as big. In which probably one of the shortest ones is probably going to be the S tier. Let's see. Withered Foxy, Shadow Bonnie, Springtrap. Let's see. Jackal Bonnie, Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Bonnie, Pig Patch, Mr. Hippo. Oh yeah, Trash and Gang, Fredbear, Scrap Baby, Rockstar Chica. Who else? Oh yeah, Rockstar Bonnie. And of course the creator. So this list is much smaller, but I really need to summarize because this video is already almost an hour long, in which I was not expecting this. So let's try to go by this quicker. Freddy, of course, the big and the angry bear himself, Freddy Fazbear. Really like his design and everything. Sadly, he has no voice other than just his music box sound. In which I've always loved the original Freddy. Bonnie, I really like Bonnie's design. He's all cute and everything. Love his little guitar that he plays. He seems like much more happy than scary, in my opinion. In which I really like it. And also, bumper cars. That's one thing that made me really like him. Was just that bumper car little joke. Foxy, I really like the original Foxy design. Oh wait, I feel like I'll also put Withered Chica in there as well. Let's see. Golden Freddy, I really like it how the moment people found Golden Freddy like Markiplier, the entire fandom just started creating theories and everything about him, which kind of just started out the entire, like, how the franchise was actually going to become like something big and popular. Toy Freddy, the big goofball. I love his voice. I love his mechanic in Ultimate Custom Night, to where you're actually playing a video game, first of all, and you're watching cameras, and you're watching someone. Well, no, you're watching someone play a video game, but you're also playing the video game for them. It makes no sense. So is he just watching, or are you actually like controlling him? It makes no sense. But I also like how he's just playing Five Nights with Mr. Hugs. Toy Bonnie, personally, I love Toy Bonnie's design. It's really cute, friendly, huggable, and I just really love the design. The puppet, great backstory. Simple, but yet really good design. Really like it. Withered Foxy. I really like his design. He looks a lot more menacing and more fox-like. Well, the thing is that I've noticed that the Withers, they look closer to their actual design, like to what their more animal counterparts, because they seem more like animals. In which Withered Foxy does that well with that long, distorted snout and everything. Because I'm pretty sure that his snout is much longer than normal Foxy's. Shadow Bonnie. Really really nice design, and whenever I think of the Shadows now, the first thing that comes to mind is the hottest dog. And the Commander Shadow Bonnie, well, Black Rabbit from Pop Goes, but you still get the idea. Springtrap, main villain, a lot better than Afton. I know he's one of the best characters, in which I understand that, but he's not my number one favorite. And same thing with Foxy. They're really nice characters, really he really has a detailed design and everything. I love it how the corpse of William is still in there, and he is the main threat of FNaF 3, and how he always comes back. Nightmare Bonnie, love the design. In which I love the design a lot more than Nightmare Chica, and then Jacko Chica, a lot more. Next is not Withered. Nightmare Freddy. Really nice design. I personally prefer this design over his original teaser image design that he had, because his head looked a little bit too wonky in my opinion in the original teaser. But one thing I truly love are the Freddles. I want Freddle plushies. I know that there's like tiny little Freddle toy. Well, it's known as Nightmare Freddy, but it still looks like tiny little Freddle. I want Freddle plushies. I want like a whole bunch of them so they can just invade my room. And if anyone just tries to come in, they got an army of them waiting for them. That would be funny. Nightmare Bunny, whiskers. The bunny gets whiskers, and for some reason, Nightmare Bonnie's kind of just been one of the more unique characters, in my opinion. Sure, his design, well, he doesn't exactly have like that 3-row teeth of Chica or the completely different design of Foxy or the Freddles that Nightmare Freddy has, but he still just somehow stands out. With a really nice blue coloring instead of purple, kind of like with Toy Bonnie and Withered Bonnie. Pig Patch. Love his banjo. That's all I really have to say about him. He has a really nice design. Love his character. I just love his voice and the banjo solo he has. And same thing kind of like can be said about Mr. Hippo. The only real thing, the thing is that ever since Ultimate Custom Night, a lot of these characters had character development. In which the thing is that a lot of these characters who never even had a voice, if they never even had a voice, I probably would have had them lower, but because of it, they kind of are higher up because of it. Like, for example, with Mr. Hippo, who's going all, like, into deep story, and you have to, like, wait many minutes just for him to finish his own story. In which I just personally love it. I love his stories. They're just so silly and everything, yet they're kind of dark. Trash and Gang. Strange, but I love them. That's all I need to say. Fredbear, really unique, but I'm just wondering how, because he looks so much more similar to the normal Golden Freddy than what I would think that Fredbear would be more closer to the Withered Golden Freddy design. Kind of like how you would actually get him from Withered Golden Freddy. It makes no sense, but still a unique design. Don't really get to see that much of him, but still, it's really unique. Scrap Baby. I really like her design much more than Sister Location design. There's still a little bit of a clown aspect, but most of it's kind of just been washed away and replaced by horror. The hair looks so much more detailed, in which it looks like a completely different character, kind of like how there's Freddy, like FNaF 1 Freddy, and then Withered Freddy. They look completely different, yet they're still kind of like the same thing. Even though FNaF 1 Freddy and Withered Freddy are two completely different animatronics. But I'm just wondering how baby, circus baby can turn into scrap baby. I mean, like, sure, there's like a few things that resemble, but at least she resembles it a lot more than Afton. In which her rollerblades, her giant claw just make her all the more unique. Rockstar Chica. Her voice is probably the best thing. The old granny styled voice and how the internet makes her completely afraid of the wet floor signs. I love it. Rockstar Bonnie. He wants his guitar, man. And also his voice is also really hilarious, but probably not as hilarious as Rockstar Chica. Scott, I gotta give it to the man. He has created probably my favorite video game franchise of all time, with some of my favorite characters as well. And I had to put him up high in the list. Now for our second withered animatronic, it's Withered Chica. I really like her design with the open mouth and everything. In which I personally like her much more than Withered Foxy. In which her open jaw and everything is just adds to the horror. Wonder what I wonder what they looked like before they actually became withered. I mean, like, sure, people have made edits and everything, but what would Scott's official unwithered models be? Because the thing is that we can never have a definite answer on what they look like. But I even like her voice, and it's also strange how she also said that she was the first and how she has seen everything. In which so is she the first murder victim? But moving on. Also, I would say that I'd probably be putting. So now the thing is that these characters in S tier are the best of the best, but only a few are my true favorites. Because some of these I really like, and they stand out a lot more to me than others. And as you probably noticed, all but a couple, well, all but a few are bears. While you got two bunnies and a fox. While everyone else is bears. So you kind of understand how I like Freddy much more. But only these Freddys stood out the most. To me, in my opinion. But it's almost 10 o'clock right now. Which I started recording a little bit past 8:30. And I got school. So I should probably be wrapping this up really soon. So, let's see. I'll start from the bottom of this part and work my way up. So, Nightmare has always been my favorite Nightmare character, mainly because of like his transparency. I mean, like even like now, look, you can't even really see his endo head until you pull him out into the clear, and then you can see it, but then you can't see it now. In which I love his transparency, like the black color scheme really makes him hide in the shadows and everything. And also that yellow color, the black and yellow really works out well. Nightmare Fredbear really looks nice. In which I really like that monstrous look to him, kind of like with Nightmare himself. Phantom Freddy. A withered Freddy design, but looks more Phantom Freddy and looks more. But I really like it, and I also just love his limping. Just can't get over that limp. Withered Golden Freddy. Really unique. And what I would believe would be the withered suit of the original Fredbear, in my opinion. Withered Bonnie. One word that can describe this man. Puns. Just puns. I love the voice actor who did him and how Scott wanted him to just be face puns. Cause he just suits it, in which I also what is it? I just love it how everyone makes it seem like he's all like depressed because he has no face, in which is it's also just really upsetting, in which I just want to go find his face for him and make him happy again. Also, he's probably the one like most withered animatronic of all because of that no face, which makes him stand out a lot more than the rest. But he's actually not even my favorite withered, but he is one of the best, one of the best. Funtime Freddy almost was German. I wonder how that would have turned out in the end. And I love his design. He's not like the usual Freddy, but his design does still has that Freddy aspect to him. But he's all like cheerful and happy. He looks like he's about ready to party. And also what makes him unique is Bon Bon, the puppet. In which Bon Bon is cute. I can't really say anything else. I love Bon Bon. Bon Bon's like the cutest little hand puppet. It's even cuter than Toy Bonnie. Next up comes Ennard. Ennard is a really unique character, and I really like it how it's like a huge mess of every single Funtime animatronics endoskeletons, but mashed into one humanoid creature, in which it looks really awesome and everything. And I also like how they kind of like brought it back in Pizzeria Simulator and Ultimate Custom Night. Helpy, a miniature Funtime Freddy. What more is there to love? I love his little design, his little boop, like whenever he makes that little pop sound in Ultimate Custom Night is adorable. Love his air horn. And the most depressing thing about him is every time when he falls and snaps. It's the most unsettling sound of all time, especially since it all goes quiet, and I'm hoping that his back's okay. Rockstar Freddy, please deposit 5 coins. One more is there to say. I really like his design. Like, he really does look like he's about ready to rock out. And his voice in Ultimate Custom Night, even though it can be annoying, it's actually pretty funny. Molten Freddy. I personally like him. He's one of my top 3 favorite Freddys. I just don't know if he's number 3 or number 2. I just really like his design, like, to where he really does look like a pile of spaghetti, in which how he's actually just entered wearing a different mask. I love the rusty colors, like the white and brownish rust color that he has, and also I'm wondering how his mask is different than Funtime Freddy. I'm just wondering whatever happened to that. It just doesn't exactly fit together, kind of like with Scrap Baby and Afton. Just doesn't really make any sense. Next up for a Freddy is Lefty. Pretty much the definition of me. Well, not exactly, but it kind of symbolizes me a little bit. And here's why. One, I am a left-handed. Secondly, the thing is that its price is $5. My favorite number is 5. And I've known that number for years now. My favorite color has always been red. And even though that's not his main color, my favorite color combo has always been black and red. And the thing is that in Minecraft, years ago, the thing is that me and some friends and family, we made this like world where it was like kingdoms, even though it was only in creative. It was still, we each had our own ore that we had, and this was like the original version of the game because we could not update anything on our Xbox 360. So we just had the original version that we got it. Whoops, sorry. I forgot to move my mouse because my computer turned off for a second. At least the recording's still going. But the thing is that I had this, my ore was gold. So a lot of things I created had a black, red, and gold kind of color scheme, which kind of suits Lefty if you kind of think about it, in which is kind of why Lefty's kind of like is one of my top 3 favorite Freddys. Well, and also top 3 favorite animatronics, in which he's also a Freddy, in which I love Freddy. He's my favorite of the main 4 animatronic types. Then we have Shadow Freddy. Really like him, in which it's kind of upsetting how Shadow Bonnie is loved more than him. And kind of like with Shadow Bonnie, I think of the Commander Shadow Freddy from Special Strike. Which, first of all, I really am excited for Special Strike Rebellion. But he's got a real nice design. I really like the purple color and how he kind of like causes an instant death, and how he's like in Withered Bonnie's position in the parts and service room, which is really neat and interesting. Then comes Foxy. Yar, me bird likes ya, so I do ye a favor. I could do a much better voice, but for some reason I had the hiccups earlier. I was laughing way too much, and I don't want to lose my voice too much more anymore. Anyway, I've spoken for way too long now tonight, just with this video, because this video has already been more than an hour and 10 minutes. I really like his design. He truly is a pirate. It's the most piratey Foxy of all time, with the eye patch, the peg leg, accordion, and the pirate parrot. It all like comes together so nicely with that nice red color of him, in which he is the best Foxy. No doubts about it. And also, I just love his voice. And also how he can just kill you whenever he wants to. And now for the grand finale, my most favorite character of all time is Withered Freddy. His design and everything makes it to where he is the superior Freddy out of all of them. Because he truly does seem more like a bear, like with his larger figure, like, because I made a costume of him in which his body shape I made was cylinder, which was a huge mistake where I should have paid attention and made that more rounded figure of him. His head shape is really like, I really like his head shape, in which, in my opinion, is much better than normal Freddy or any other Freddy. The withering, even though it's minor, it's still pretty good. His eyes kind of like go off in different directions a little bit, but he's also kind of like the main star of FNaF 2. Yeah, even though he was on the face of the merchandise for many years, back in the early days of the FNaF merch, he hasn't even gotten any, which completely breaks my heart. That he hasn't even gotten any sort of merch, which explains why in every Freddy in a nutshell says that he is slowly dying on the inside. Even though it was in the same kind of video where it says that Bonnie was having crippling depression, Foxy hates flashlights, and Chica is wondering where her arms are. But it's really upsetting how really the Withers don't get any merch. And I know that they have the McFarlane toys, but like every other Withered character has like a decent figure for McFarlane toys, except for Withered Freddy. I personally did not like the sculpt that they made, which literally looked like the normal Freddy, but like with minor changes and printed on withering. And literally what I did was I just took that Freddy stand from the Phantom Balloon Boy set, took the head and torso, and then put it onto Withered Freddy's body. And I moved the original Withered Freddy hidden belly piece and just moved it to the stand because it kind of suited FNaF 3 much more because that it was the original FNaF 1 head. So that's just in which it would have made it so much better. Now I know that Withered Bonnie has 2 pieces of merchandise, which was the Mystery Mini and the pop figure, but come on, the rest of them need something. They need more. They all need an action figure. The rest of them need pop figures. They all need plushes. I mean, come on. I would love to see a Withered Freddy plushie, a no-face Bonnie. I would love to see so many different plushies. I mean, like, come on. Where's our Lefty plush? Where's Bon Bon? There was no Bon Bon plush at all. There's no Nightmare Fredbear. Where's the rest of the Phantoms? Where's the Shadow Bonnie? Where's Molten Freddy? There's just so many characters that they have missed for merchandise. And the Withereds, they just get nothing. It's like Funko doesn't even know who they are. They only recognized Withered Bonnie like that one time, and then they're like, oh, well, that's the only character we know. Let's throw him back into the alley. But in the end, I truly like all these characters, and I'm hoping that this video wasn't exactly the longest and most boring video you've ever seen. And tell me your guys' list of favorite characters. Now I know that there's a pretty good amount of characters missing, like Lemonade Clown, Fruit Punch. There was no Security Puppet in the Twisted ones. But like the Fruit Punch and Lemonade, they'd probably go in the C tier. The Twisteds, they would probably go in the B and A, and maybe even a couple might go in the S. And the Security Puppet might go in the A tier as well. But I think that's about it, and I hope that I hope you all enjoyed tonight's video, and I hope you all have a good night, because I know I'm going to really need to have a good night's sleep. So I can be ready for school tomorrow, and I'll see y'all in my next videos. So, see y'all.